just when you thought things could not get better for the Los Angeles Lakers, there are now reports and rumors coming out that they are now interested in JJ Redick. Now, this isn't usually my source that I usually use. There's actually a couple of things that I've heard, so I don't really know how if this is 100% legitness, but there's actually a couple people that have reported on this, including a person named Jason Reed, it looks like, and there's a couple articles online from Fadeaway World and the Inquisitor, and there's a couple more out there as well. Again, it's not my usual source, but I guess it's what we're going to have to take for now. But I find this to be extremely interesting. It's something I think that the LA Lakers should have done in the first place. I think it would have been a really cool signing if they originally signed JJ Redick. Instead, they decided to sign a couple other players like KCP, and obviously a lot of people didn't really rate that signing. I never really rated that signing exactly too much, and now he's up in trade negotiations. I believe it was about a $9 million for 2 years is what KCP is actually on. And then there's a couple other players here and there who I also think might be getting traded to the Lakers as well. These could include Taylor Horton Tucker and potentially maybe even Quinn Cook. I think that if a lot of people are saying, how cool would this be if the Lakers actually did trade for JJ Redick and all of this stuff? But if you actually, worked or played for the New Orleans Pelicans, or if you're a fan of the New Orleans Pelicans, would you really want to trade JJ Redick for KCP and all this stuff? And the answer is no, you wouldn't. So where I'm coming to, I think here is I think that the Lakers are probably going to have to overpay if they want to get him, because I mean they don't really have any players I think that could potentially be traded for JJ Redick. Now JJ Redick is actually 35 years old, but he's a shooter. So him being a shooter obviously means he's probably still got heaps of years left in him. I mean, Kyle Korver's like 39 years old or whatever, and you just watch him play, and you feel like he could have a year or two left in him just based on the fact that he can still shoot the three ball perfectly. So you kind of think to yourself, JJ Redick might be 35 years old, but has still got a lot left to offer for the New Orleans Pelicans. And yeah, that's why they signed him on a 2-year deal. So if you're the Lakers, I definitely think you're going to have to overpay here. And what I potentially think it's going to have to be is I believe they actually have their 2020, I think it's 2022. I believe they still have their 2022 first round pick available. So if I was the Lakers, what I think would have to happen is they're probably going to have to trade KCP, Taylor Horton Tucker, 2022 first, and obviously maybe their 2020 second, and another 2020 second here and there. Trade up all of that for potentially JJ Redick, and maybe even another player that the New Orleans Pelicans have. Can't really think of any off the top of my head that would be cool to go to the Lakers. Obviously, it has to fit in with the salary I would potentially think that the Lakers do have. And I think, trading away all these players to get JJ Redick, I believe Redick's actually on near a $15 million deal, if I'm right. I think it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you got potentially KCP, who's on about $9 million or whatever. And then, yeah, it kind of works out, I guess. I can't really think of any players that would potentially be put in a trade package to the Lakers as well in this. There's a guy named, I think it's Nicolo Mali, who's actually 28 years old, who's a rookie from Italy, who can hit the three ball perfectly and has actually been playing very good for the New Orleans Pelicans. I believe potentially he could be in trade negotiations, maybe even Frank Jackson. Someone like that I think would also be thrown into it, just based on the fact that the Lakers are going to be most likely trading two players alongside those picks. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I don't think JJ Redick is worth a first or anything like that. But as I just said, he is a contracted player with the New Orleans Pelicans. It seems like he wants to be there and all of this stuff. And you're pretty much asking New Orleans to try and trade for KCP, which at this point no one really wants KCP, and a lot of people really dislike him and all that stuff. So I can't really see the New Orleans Pelicans actually going into a deal for, pretty much JJ Redick and pretty much getting back KCP and Taylor Horton Tucker. I just don't think that's a good return. I think they're going to have to put picks in it, and that's why I was saying 2022 first, and potentially a couple of seconds here and there as well for maybe, obviously, JJ Redick, Frank Jackson, or Nicolo Mali. That's what I can potentially see happening as well. Maybe even the Lakers see a player on the on the New Orleans Pelicans that they potentially like, that they could also try and trade for. One that also comes to my mind, which I think would be an interesting prospect. Now, I know there's a lot of salary cap restrictions and limits and how this thing might not work out, but Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday could actually be an interesting one to potentially put on the Lakers team. Obviously, Drew Holiday has played with Anthony Davis. He's played with DeMarcus Cousins before and all of that stuff. It looks like Drew Holiday might also be shipped around. I don't really think it would be exactly the best match, in my opinion. I don't think anything like that. I'm just saying, I think Drew Holiday could potentially be traded somewhere soon in maybe the deadline or something like that if the Clippers if the New Orleans Pelicans, potentially want to go in a different direction and potentially a contender does want him. Obviously, I think Drew Holiday would be okay for the Lakers, but I don't really think he's necessary at all. But I'm just saying, he could be another player the Lakers do go after. Who really knows? The Lakers definitely, I feel like, need maybe one or two more players just to add to their team. But I just think JJ Redick would be absolutely perfect just based on the fact that he's a three-point shooter that's really good, obviously. And imagine just Danny Green and JJ Redick running around in your, on your team. That's probably the two of the best role players in the NBA to potentially have on your team. Obviously, Kyle Korver also comes to my mind as a great three-point shooter role player as well. Imagine if they had him as well. Imagine if they had all three. That would be pretty funny. But I just can see potentially, the Lakers trying to get JJ Redick as well. If they are really seeing themselves as a championship contender, I still feel like they need one or two more pieces. Maybe JJ Redick as well. And yeah, I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head, but I think Drew Holiday would be pretty cool. It's just that his contract's a little bit too big. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see on potentially what happens. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA content and NBA news. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on the Lakers potentially trying to trade for JJ Redick? I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channels. The links for them are in the description down below. So don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.